Hi, and welcome to another video by Jimthecarguy. Today we're going to be working on a 2005. It's a Nissan Altima with a 2.5-liter engine. The problem we have is that the customer will be driving along and for no reason whatsoever they're just driving along and all of a sudden the car just stalls and dies right out. They turn the key, starts right up, and it runs perfectly. They'll be driving for a couple of weeks without any kind of an issue. Everything is perfect. And then all of a sudden they'll be driving, come to a stoplight, stop, bam, the car just stalls out again. So after I scanned it, it comes up with a P0 335, is a crank position sensor. We checked the sensor, we checked the wiring, and everything looks okay on it. I might add, this car has extremely low mileage. I think it has like 20-some-odd thousand miles on it. So being that we can't duplicate the problem by moving the wiring or tapping or anything like that, and everything looks good on the sensor, we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace the crankshaft position sensor. This sensor is in a little bit of a tight spot. You can't even see it from the bottom. You can look up and you can see the wiring that plugs onto it, but you can't even see where the sensor bolt is actually located. So I'm going to show you the way I do it. I usually remove it from the top. I take the air box out, take the air snorkel tube out, and I can usually get down there with a light so I can actually see it, so I can take the sensor out. So let's get up there. I'm going to show you what to do. And there was also another code in there too, which I think is probably a false code because of this sensor. It's a PO725. It says engine speed signal to the trans control module. So that we're not even going to address that issue. We're just going to take care of this, and let me bring you up there. I'm going to take you along. I'll show you exactly how to do it step by step, and that's it. Let's get in there and get working. This is pretty much what it looks like underneath the hood here. What we're going to do is we're going to remove this this air box. We're going to remove this snorkel here, and the sensor itself is actually located down in the back, down in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of this stuff out here, and you'll see it'll be a little bit easier to get to. So let me grab some wrenches and let's get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these clamps off on here so we can remove this air box from the car. You can either use a screwdriver or you can use a 10mm socket to get in there, whatever one works for you. Take this out. I'm just going to relocate this off to the side now. Take a pair of pliers and just squeeze this clamp here. Be careful, you don't want to snap anything. Before you try to pull it, just give it a little twist on here, just to make sure it's loose. And then we're going to take that hose and pull it off. Okay. Now we're going to take this sensor off right here. You just push this little clamp in. Press the button down on the side of it to remove it, and we pop that out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this box. We're going to take this little clamp off that secures the wiring to the side of the air box. We're going to reattach that later, but for now we're just going to take this out here so it opens it up for us. Give you an idea what it looks like down in here. And the sensor we need to get to is actually down. Let's see if I can get you in there so you can see. That's the sensor right down inside there. I hope you can see it, because I sure as heck can't see it from my angle. Alright, so you see that little 10mm bolt in there? We're going to take that 10mm bolt out, and we're going to take the sensor and the harness out in one assembly, and then we'll take it off as we go along. Alright, so let's get in here with we're just going to take this bracket off just so it moves out of the way so I can get my hand in there, because it is a really tight spot. And if you want to try to get around it, you can, but it's probably going to be a little bit easier moving it out of the way so we can gain access to it. Just to swing it out of the way like this so we can get in a little better. And then down in here is where that screw is in here. So let me get a ratchet, and let's get in there with try to get that screw out. Okay. I decided to do, just so you know here, I this wire that connects onto the sensor itself. Let me just take it up here, I'll show you. You see how it has this plug on it? You see how this has this plug on the sensor here? The problem is that you can't get back in over here to get to the bolt because this plug is actually blocking part of it. So you have to take this off. And the way you take it off is you get in here with the screwdriver and you push this pin all the way down until it locks in place there, and then you pull this wire off. When you put it back on, you'll push this on and this piece here will snap back up and lock it up on top. So that's what I had to do, is to remove this to get it out of the way so I could get down in there to get that 10mm bolt out, because there's no way that 10mm bolt. I don't think it's here, but you see where that is located? It's just with that plug on there, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do it. So let's get in there with that 10mm, take that bolt out, and we're going to pull that sensor out. I know it's a really bad spot to see it, but that's it. Put the socket on there like that, and now I'm going to get in there with the ratchet, and I'm going to remove that bolt and take it out of there. So what you do is you crack that bolt loose, then you can turn it out by hand. I'm going to recommend you be careful, because you drop that bolt, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to find it. Okay, and that's the bolt. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to reach down in there and hopefully the sensor comes right out. If not, we're going to use needle nose pliers to pull it, which is what we're going to have to do. Okay, and that is the old sensor. You got to get in, I'll show you. When you get in here and the sensor is like this here, you got to rotate it up to the top like that so you can actually get in there with a pair of needle nose pliers like this and work it back and forth and pull it out. Alright, let's grab the new one and let's put it back together. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the new sensor. We put a little bit of grease along the O-ring so that it slides into the block a little bit easier, and then we're just going to come down inside here. You have to go by feel because you can't even see it. Get it in there and just push it, and you'll feel when you're pushing it, it'll snap right in. Okay, and I just felt it pop in there. I know you probably didn't hear it, but I could feel it as well as hear it. Then what you do is you turn the sensor. I'll show you. Okay, when you put the sensor in, you're putting it in like this here, and you're working it back and forth, and you'll feel it snap in. Then just rotate the sensor this way so that you can line the bolt up with the hole in the engine itself. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I have that you won't, when you put the bolt in here so you don't drop it. A lot of times you're in there fumbling around and you're going to wind up dropping it and you're going to have a problem trying to find it. Now if you have a magnetic socket, great. If not, we're going to do it like this. Okay, basically what you're going to do is you're going to just take a piece of paper, put it over your socket like this, put your nut, or bolt in this case, put it in here like this, and just push it in there. Right, nice and tight. Now, no matter what you do, it isn't going to fall out. So if you're in there fumbling around trying to get it in, it's not going to fall out. Now obviously if you have a magnetic socket, it would be better, but this works perfectly. So let's get that bolt back in, and we'll wrap it up. Now what I normally do is take your mirror and get down inside here and make sure that the bolt hole is lined up fairly straight, so that way you can get it in there without a real issue. And it looks like it's lined up perfectly. So we're going to take this now, and we're going to get in here. A lot of times you can't even see it, as you know. You're just going to go by feel. And then once you've got this tightened up down here, take your ratchet out, and we're going to reattach our plug. We'll push the plug back on until you hear it snap. And once you hear it, now this is a little bit tight down here, and it's a little bit difficult to see, but you got to get in there and you got to just feel around and you'll feel when it's on there, and then you push it and it'll snap in place. So, okay, and you'll feel it snap right in. Now we're going to reattach this bracket and we'll get it wrapped up. Reattach this bracket here. We're going to put a snorkel back in, and we're going to wrap this job up and get it out. Now that we got it back together, we tightened up our clamp here for the air intake. We put this hose back on. We reconnected our airflow meter. We put our wiring back in its positions where we pulled it out, so that way nothing gets damaged. Reconnected our air breather in, and of course we plugged in our crank position sensor. We also, that bracket that was down in the bottom, down in here, that we had that 12 millimeter bolt, we reconnected that also. And that's it. If everything is well, we should be able to fire this up, and we should be in good shape. So let's fire it up and make sure. That's it. All right, so that's it. We're pretty much all set. Like always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.